Two New South Wales health workers have been stood down after video surfaced of the man and woman allegedly declaring they would refuse to treat Israeli patients and would, quote, kill them.
I won't treat them. I won't treat them. I'll kill them.
They, during the conversation, decided to say that in their hospital, they kill Israelis. If you didn't hear about this, it is an absolute miracle that you haven't. Because two hospital workers, a doctor and a nurse, have been stood down from their jobs after a video surfaced with them allegedly joking, this is what they're saying now, about killing Israelis who come in to find help at a hospital.
The Israeli influencer at the centre of the Bankstown nurses' firestorm has released what he says is the unedited video where they threaten the lives of Israeli patients. Daniel Sutton is following this story for us and joins us live. Dan, what does the video show?
They're there on a chat site. I believe it was Chat Roulette. Now, if you're not familiar with what Chat Roulette is, it is a website where basically you get on a webcam and you press next and then you see some dicks, okay? The person who was filming this, an Israeli gentleman, he didn't find dicks. He found a doctor and a nurse. They didn't love the fact that he was Israeli. Now, do we think that they didn't love the fact that he was Israeli or a Jew? Probably just Israeli, but some people are saying that it's what happened was very anti-Semitic.
I'm from Israel, from the Holy Land.
You know what? I'm gonna be really honest with you.
All right.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. You actually got a really, really beautiful eyes.
Thank you,
but
man.
I'm so upset that you're Israeli. Like, eventually you're gonna get killed and you're gonna go to Jahannam, inshallah. Like these pretty eyes, they should stay in this world for longer.
We're going to come to a conclusion ourselves because I haven't watched the entire video. I want to watch it with you right now. They have released the entire thing and I think it's important that we watch it from the start to the end.
And Max Vifa has placed this video on his Instagram feed today saying it is the full unedited exchange of his video chat with those two Bankstown nurses. Now, he says he has nothing to hide. He's happy to provide it to police too if they can tell him where to sit.
They, during the conversation, decided to say that in their hospital, they kill Israelis, which is pretty crazy. And the lady came on, there was a dude and a lady, and she came on and she said, oh, if you come here, words to the effect of, if you come here, you're not going to live, and all these types of things. And this is all alleged, and maybe they were joking, and who knows, and all these things to protect my own ass. To get a bit of an understanding, and this is what's happened since. They have been not arrested, but they've been questioned. They've been stood down from their jobs. All the government officials have come out and saying that it's sickening and shameful that they say this. Even the Prime Minister came out and talked about it. And this entire week on the news, this is all that they have. This has been the #1 story all this week.
The fact that they chose to do this in uniform, the fact they chose to do this while they should have been caring for patients, the fact they chose to do this in a way that somehow made them take the opinion that their behaviour was reflective of what others thought. It's disgusting, it's vile, it's appalling.
What's going to happen, and is the defence of it being a joke, does that dissolve responsibility from the horrors that this person said? Now remember, these people work in positions of care.
Can I just ask you about your comments?
No comments, please.
Are you anti-Semitic? Did you kill patients at Bankstown? Why did you make those threats?
Now, if I go out and say something like that when I work in a job where I'm looking after people, then obviously there's going to be ramifications. And even if it is a joke, should you be able to say things like this? But then it affects how you care for people and if people trust you when they come into your care.
These two New South Wales health nurses were on shift last night when this video is believed to have been taken. Both were in uniform at Bankstown Hospital, seemingly working to help the sick and injured when they told a social media influencer online that they wouldn't treat Israeli patients and that they'd kill them.
Let's take a look at the video. Let's try and work out how we feel about the entire thing. And I think maybe we can come up with a resolution of what should happen to these people.
How are you, man?
Good, how are you, my man?
Pretty good. Are you a nurse? A doctor?
I'm a doctor, my man.
A doctor? For what?
In hospital. What about you? Where you from?
I'm from Israel. From the Holy Land.
Right. You know what? I'm gonna be really honest with you.
Alright.
I'm gonna be really honest with you. You actually got a really, really beautiful eyes.
Thank you,
But
man.
I'm so upset that you're Israeli. Like, eventually you're gonna get killed and you're gonna go to Jahannam, inshallah.
You
but
think...
like these pretty eyes, they should stay in this world for longer.
Why do you
Like,
think?
I
Why
swear-
do you think I'm gonna get killed?
So the word that he used then, I believe, is you're going to hell, basically. I'm pretty sure that's what he said. This response is very, very strange. Obviously, you can see that he's in a doctor's office or a staff room at a hospital. He's wearing the hospital uniform. He's got like the tags on and stuff. Like, this is dumb shit to do if you're a person that's employed by the government. Like, that's a fucking ridiculous thing to do. And it is a ridiculous thing to say to someone anyway, but this is what happens in comment sections all over the world all the time. Like, this is people arguing. People do this shit non-stop. But if he is a professional and he's employed by the government, is that okay? I think you should be able to say this type of shit to people because that's free speech. Now, you should be able to say anything you want, and even if it is horrible, horrible shit, like what this dude's saying and what he goes on to say and what Old Love next to him goes on to say, we should all sit back and go, that's fucked, why would you say that? But he should be able to say it. But maybe he shouldn't if he's employed by the government.
Because inshallah one day, God will...
Maybe because I served in the IDF. That's why.
That's definitely the answer, correct?
That's the
Yes.
reason, because I served in the IDF. What's the problem with that? What's the issue with that?
Okay, so he says that he's served in the IDF, the Israeli Defense Force. Now, if this dude on the left, if he is either from Palestine, has family in Palestine, or in whatever way he relates to the conflict, he's obviously not going to be a fan of someone who is in the Israeli Defense Force.
Because you killed innocent people, that's why.
Killed? I was protecting my country.
So you kill innocent people to protect your country. What kind of soul do you have? You have no soul.
In a war, people die, as you know.
No.
They started
No,
the
that's
war.
Not 1200
Who
against
started?
57.
It's okay.
Obviously,
Your
he's saying people have died. Maybe he's been responsible for people dying, or he's been around people dying if he is a soldier. And yeah, that type of shit does happen in wars. I guess the argument is he's protecting his country, and then other people are saying, well, the other people are saying, you're not protecting your country, you're killing innocents. That is the big conflict, right?
Who started this war?
I hope you guys...
Who elected Hamas?
Shit.
Who elected
This
Hamas?
it's Palestine's country, not your
Hello,
country, you piece
how
of
are you?
shit.
What's your name?
No, none of you
We're
listen to my
talking
name.
politely
Listen to me.
here. We're talking politely here.
One day, your time will come and you will die the most horrible
You
death.
sprayed
You will
hate.
remember
We
me.
spread
And I
positivity.
pray,
We spread
and I
protection.
want
We
you-
spread
Listen to me.
peace.
Listen to me.
And
when
you
your-
spread
when your
death.
time comes.
How
when
are
your
you
time
doctors?
comes,
Wait.
I want you to remember my face.
Okay,
so
okay.
You can understand
Gotcha.
That you will
I have
die
a question
the most
though.
disgusting death.
All right.
Some pretty dark shit. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of hatred there, and this is hatred that's between both of these people. There's hatred that is built into the genetics of these people. They not just the people on the left-hand side. I'm not talking about the Australians. I'm talking about the relationship that Gazans and Palestinians have with Israelis. Both of their relationships there's hatred there from when they're born. These people, they hate each other, and you can really see it coming out here. And I think it's difficult for people like myself living in Australia, or people living in the US or the UK, to really get in the mindset of any of these people. It's got to be very, very difficult to grow up so close to a neighbour that you're born to hate from both sides.
For sure. I have a question though. I have a question. Let's say an Israeli. God forbid.
I won't treat them. I'll kill them.
You'll kill them? So if an Israeli is in Australia and God forbid something happened to him and he comes
Not
to
God
your
forbid,
hospital,
I hope to God.
would you kill him?
You have no idea how many Israeli Khara dog came to this hospital, and I sent it to Jahannam. I
For
literally
real?
sent it to Jahannam.
For real? So if just Jewish people comes there?
He's basically said any Israeli people come here, like that. So that's what he's saying is a joke. And I think the old love next to him was probably the more vicious in that conversation. Whether or not that's a joke or not, I think what he was trying to do was hurt the other person by saying mean things, right?
As soon as they found out that I'm from Israel, they started cursing me and threatening me that they're gonna kill me, that they're never gonna treat Israeli patients at their hospitals. I was shocked. It's insane that so far away in Australia, the hate has gone so far.
Yeah, it doesn't look good. And I think if you're representing any business and you say shit like that, you're probably going to get fired. And that's well within their right to do that. They're a private business, or in this case, the government. They should be able to hire and fire whoever they want based on how they represent the business itself. In this case, it being a healthcare business. So what do you do from here? Have they done anything illegal? Well, I think if you say, and you're a healthcare practitioner or a nurse or a doctor, if you say you've killed people, you should probably be investigated, I guess. If I say that, you know that I'm a comedian and I'm probably joking, hopefully joking. But these guys, they have people's lives in their hands every single day. So you probably have to investigate it. And that is what has happened. Police have raided their houses and gone there and asked questions. They've been questioned by these police over the last week. There was massive amounts of media interest in this. People went to their front doors and there was interactions with their family members and people yelling and screaming at each other. And the gentleman in it, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't call him a gentleman, the bloke in it, he's actually been hospitalised on Thursday night. He was taken to hospital after mental health concerns. People called him, were worried about him, and he mustn't be in a very good way because he is getting a lot at the moment. And you may say that he deserves it. Maybe he does.
The male nurse overnight, Ange Ahmad Rashir, is now back in the very health system that he is banned from working in. This time, though, not as a nurse, but as a patient. Police and paramedics were called to his home last night for a concern for welfare check. Now, we understand he was transferred to hospital for a mental health assessment. Not, should I point out, Bankstown Hospital, which is the closest to his home, but a different hospital. Those nurses are yet to speak to police, but as officers collect their evidence, it is worth pointing out they haven't been placed under arrest. They are under no obligation to speak to police, but both have retained lawyers. As they are stood down without pay, they are barred from working at any other hospitals around the country too.
Probably he will learn a lesson from this, that out and out saying that you hate a group of people is not a good thing. And that's from both sides here. As for Old Love, in the video, she said that, she was suffering from some mental health issues as well, panic attacks and all that type of stuff, and that probably makes sense from all the criticism that they have received. Now, free speech, as we've spoken about in the video, I am a big proponent of free speech in every single facet, and I obviously have said things in my career that people would say, oh, you shouldn't say that, that's evil, bad, whatever. It's different for me because I'm joking. If I'm on stage, it's a fucking joke. Or if I point a view across, maybe it's about a trans person, or maybe it's about an issue that is about a person that's a different colour than me. People say you shouldn't say any of those type of things, or you shouldn't talk about them. It's not your place to talk, but that is free speech. So where does it end? Should you be able to say anything without repercussions? I think probably not. You shouldn't say that you've killed people, or if people come here, they're going to be killed. And then you inflate the whole sort of argument between, do you hate Israelis or do you hate all Jews? Like, where is this hatred? And how many people have actually come into your hospital and said that they're Israelis? And maybe you have done something in the past, and I guess that's why there's investigations that are happening now. But yeah, I think these people should lose their jobs. They shouldn't be dead or anything like that. Like, obviously they're getting a lot of hate. They shouldn't have any threats against them. They should just wake up to themselves and realise that that's probably not something you should say when you are a person who is helping people or supposed to be helping people every single day. But also, in saying that, go to a comment section on any news website when anything is mentioned about anything to do with Gaza, Palestine, or Israel, or anything anti-Semitic, and people are just hammering each other. Like, this is something that is said all the time, but when it comes from, a doctor or a nurse, I understand why people have problems with it.